day. I don't remember
Hello.
what day it was.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's not. It's enjoyable enough that if you're if you love the Mission Impossible, well, even someone like Andrani, who's not really familiar with it, she's seen 1 or 2 of the Mission Impossible films. She enjoyed it. Those of us who know all the characters and care about them probably enjoy it a little bit more, but it's not John Wick 4. It's still it's still a lot of fun. But
I've
it doesn't.
only
It
seen
doesn't.
1 and 3.
It doesn't touch John Wick 4. Ghost Protocol is. The last 2 are better than Dead Reckoning Part 1. I expect Dead Reckoning Part 2 to be really, really good because this kind of sets the table for it. But the stories of the last 2 Mission Impossibles were fantastic. Don't watch MI2.
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Rex of Corbin.
I'm Rick.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter for more juicy content. Thank you so much for
So the poll so far:
For what?
should Andrani and I see Oppenheimer today in standard format, or should we wait 2 weeks for IMAX 70 millimeter? 65% of the stupid babies on this poll have said we should wait.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I will also wait.
We will see.
Until it comes to digital like Nolan intended.
Watch it on your phone. Best experience ever.
Today we got information. This is India's moon mission, rocket blast into space. I don't know if you've heard anything about this.
I have. I also heard about a great big office building.
What?
You haven't heard about it?
No.
India now has the biggest office building in the world. It surpassed the Pentagon.
That makes sense.
Yep. So take that, Texas.
This is India has launched
Everything's bigger in Texas.
India has launched its 3rd moon mission and
Yeah,
is hoping
I
to
heard
become
about
the
that.
first to land near the South Pole, which has obviously been really explored. And so this video kind of goes into a little bit of depth.
They should go to the North Pole of the moon. They'll find Santa.
The moon landing was fake. Am I right?
Stanley Kubrick says so. Said he was hired to direct it.
It's true. Here we go.
What are you going to do?
Welcome to the program. We start with a historic mission to the moon.
A white British woman.
Why are the British explaining?
Come on!
Spacecraft. This is the moment that it took off just under an hour ago. It entered Earth's orbit shortly after.
It's kind of how I look with your mom.
Attempt at
Yeah.
a lunar landing.
Rockets are phallic.
The craft will deploy a rover.
Wow. Not a lot of information there.
Not at all.
A rover near the moon's south pole.
Oh, a
next
dog's
month.
going up?
And India will become
So does
only
that?
the
A rover.
4th country behind the US, the former Soviet Union, and China to manage a controlled lunar landing. A little earlier, I spoke to astronomer and podcast host Jennifer Millard, who talked us through the launch of the rocket and explained how long it would take before it reaches the moon.
Once it's there, it'll orbit the moon a few times before attempting to deploy the lander and then the rover, which is contained within the lander. So yeah, we've got a little bit to wait. We're expecting it to get to the moon 23rd, 24th of August. That's the rough timeline. And then, yeah, hopefully India will become only the 4th nation to have a successful
wait a full
soft
month?
landing on the surface
This is
of
August?
the moon. Which is absolutely incredible.
Oh,
if you
wow.
think about it. It's only the US, Russia, and China that have achieved this, and yeah, India are going for it. You know, they
And we haven't
done
been
too much
back
in
in-
terms of
Part of the
space
reason it's going
exploration.
so slow is
It's a really
because,
ambitious mission,
I mean,
but that's what they tend to
the
do.
rickshaw
You know.
guys-
They were the first
up.
Asian nation to reach Mars as well. They've got an orbiter.
Why are
around
we
now that's been operating for
why
over
are we
3
learning about
years
this
very
from the
successfully
BBC
as part of
and British
Chandrayaan 2.
people?
So yeah, expect great things from India and space in the future. So it was actually the Chandrayaan program that discovered water at the south pole of the moon and concretely discovered water on the moon. That was the first time that had ever been done. That was back in
I heard it was Perrier.
2008. And of course, they're really making amazing progress, spending very little money on these projects.
Yeah, that's the
You know,
thing.
we look at NASA's.
Yeah, their
their
space
budget's
program is
running into
nothing
hundreds of
budget-wise.
millions,
They
billions
put
of dollars.
NASA and
The
SpaceX to
Chandrayaan
shame.
ones are doing it for $75 million, something like that. We spend more on making movies.
Barbie's budget was like
How are
150
they
million.
able to do that so much?
They're smarter.
cheaply?
So again, it's doing things like taking their time, so using
Yeah,
the least amount of fuel
they're
possible,
smarter.
cuts
They
down
care
on
more about
budget,
their
using
resources.
smaller craft, so this rover, you know, is not the sort of size of a car that you would expect with the Martian rovers. This one is on its biggest dimension. It's about 1 meter long.
Oh wow.
And so then that reduces the cost as well, lower mass.
I like her
as
shirt.
well
It's like
is
Miss Frizzle.
always cheaper. And it's very, very specific targets. We only expect this rover to be working for 1 lunar day. That's one of the things with the timing of this mission as well, is to get there for the start of a lunar day. So we've got that full 2 weeks to make the most of all of that solar power to charge the batteries. And so it means
Wow, that's
that
interesting.
India can do these extraordinary missions and extraordinary science on a very, very low budget, and does show that you don't need to spend all
Correct.
of this money necessarily to do amazing exploration in space.
Jennifer Millard there. Well, let's speak now to Prasad Subramanian, who's
Yay!
Professor of at Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm assuming that you watched the launch and are following its progress. So what can you tell us? What's your assessment of how things are going?
Things are going very well. Fingers crossed, but I believe we've passed the most crucial stage of the launch. And so as of now, things couldn't be going better.
So just to explain what's happened,
Is he American?
there was blast off,
That
and
looks
then the boosters separated.
I saw the trees next to that thing. It is tiny.
And I
The
understand
rocket?
it has
Yes.
now entered Earth's orbit.
It's
And then
average.
if you could just explain what's happening, because it's going to orbit the Earth
penis.
several times, isn't it, before it does this sort of slingshot movement
Yes.
and tries to.
That's
go
what I do with
into
your mom.
the
I
moon.
orbit
Shut
a
up.
few times before the slingshot movement.
It's a matter of entering the moon's primarily the moon's gravitational pull, and it's a complex maneuver. And to be clear, the rover per se is going to land on the moon only in about 2 weeks or something like that from now. And
23rd or 24th of August, they've said, yeah.
That's right. Yes, something like that. So in between now and then, it's a lot of fairly complicated orbital dynamics that's going to happen.
Basically trying to build up speed, though, I understand.
Yes. The slingshot's a very good analogy.
The amount of math required
get your stone right
gives me anxiety.
in the right trajectory. So that's pretty much what it is.
But the smart people do it.
And then
Easily put, but
the easy part,
well,
the really difficult part, apparently, is landing on the moon. And I know that India tried it once before and it didn't go so well. So
right.
talk us through why this is so tricky, what it involves.
To the extent I understand, it's a matter of
Where's he from?
It's think of trying to land on your feet. His
accent kinda sounds American a little bit.
Of a building. You need to make sure your feet are strong. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, but if you were trying to do that,
Maybe he
you
studied
need to
here.
make sure your feet don't buckle, and there's a lot of rebound, and you're not very sure about the composition of the soil where you're landing. So all these things. So that's why it's a combination of mechanics and mostly mechanics.
So just Sorry, I was just going to ask if you could explain what the mission is. As I said, the aim is to land on the South Pole. And we don't know a huge amount, do we, about the actual South Pole?
That's right. That's precisely why we're trying to go there. And the mission, the scientific objectives are manifold. Broadly put, lunar geochemistry and of course, presence of water ice, which is the Holy Grail, and understanding how the lunar surface came to be what it is now, understanding the impact of the solar wind, so something that I'm personally interested in, how the solar wind particles impact the moon's atmosphere, or the lack of it, and how they influence the geochemistry of the lunar surface. This is about as much as I broadly understand.
Yeah, well, so far so good. So we will see, I suppose, won't we, in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for talking to us, Prasad Subramanian, who is a professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Thank you.
Did the I'm an idiot, so I'm guessing the original one, when we went in 1969, didn't take a month, did it? To get that?
I don't remember how long it took from liftoff to landing.
But I'm assuming, obviously, the mechanics to get to the South Pole, I'm assuming, are different than to just get where they.
It is, and when you have a smaller, part of the thing you have with a larger ship is not just that you're showing off; it gives you a lot more power and you can gain more speed.
Yeah.
So I think for them, clearly it was, there's no rush. We can make this in a month instead of in 5 days because we're going to use less fuel. We're going to, yeah. So, but I don't remember they covered it in some of that time frame, though this was after the date. I'm remembering in Apollo 13 how long they were waiting for them to get to the moon. It's not a long time. It wasn't a month. And they landed on July 20th of 1969. I just don't remember when liftoff was.
Did you watch?
No, but I was there. I was 4 months old.
Don't remember it though.
Don't remember it at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was
4 months old when we landed on the
alive
moon.
during Barbieheimer.
Interesting.
Similar.
Wow.
Similar.
Similar impact on the world. So what do you think? Do you think the moon landing was a hoax?
No.
You think Kubrick was lying?
I think Kubrick was talking out of his ass. That's what I think Kubrick was doing. Just to,
Do you think the world's flat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's obvious.
I mean, this floor's flat.
Yeah.
So what more evidence do you
When
need?
I walk outside, it just keeps going.
Doesn't
When I walk, I don't start feeling this.
It's true. The earth is flat, children. Just know that.
I'm thinking of George W. Bush now, and he'd say a complicated word and look so proud of himself. So I was feeling recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant. Anyways,
Said a big word.
if there's other videos that give us more information, obviously, about that, I've seen a lot of people post about this and send us stuff.
Yes.
So obviously, when it actually happens, I'm sure we'll get more.
Yeah, I
updates
read it.
and
I
stuff.
read it in the launch. I read in one of the news sources I was looking at, but saw nothing about it, obviously. And I figured we'd probably see something about it.
Anyways, let us
Congrats,
know if there's
India.
other videos that we can react to and any other information we need to know down below.
Juice!